is Chef Marisa, and I'm going to be showing you some kitchen food staples that you should always keep in your kitchen when you're going to be cooking. So in front of me I have a lot of fresh things and also a lot of kind of dry goods. So I'll just walk you through them. This is a basket full of things that I always have in my kitchen. They're really easy to store. They don't need to be refrigerated. They just need to be kept dry and cool. So these are garlic heads that were harvested from our garden. I love to keep garlic on hand. It goes in almost any dish that is savory or not sweet. We've got onions. Again, these are similar to garlic. They're aromatics, so kind of the base of most dishes that you cook. There's a variety of potatoes in here that are really good at storing through pretty much the fall and winter and spring, and they're very hearty, great for breakfasts. Another thing I like to keep is ginger. This is a really large piece of ginger, but it's another aromatic. It doesn't always go into every dish, but it's definitely something I like to keep on hand, and it keeps very well. Another really good thing to have in your kitchen is lemons. You could also keep limes, but I love keeping lemons because you never know when you're just going to need a squeeze of something slightly sour but also sweet. So the acid content in here is what brightens up a lot of dishes. So at the end of cooking something, it's really nice to just add a squeeze of lemon. Another pantry essential that most all cooks should keep is all-purpose flour. So this is just a bag of flour. Again, it's a dry good. It keeps indefinitely as long as you've stored it properly. So I keep that on hand. I also like to keep something sweet. So I have sugar in this bowl here. This is, again, a dry good, keeps really well, really nice to add to things when you just need a hint of sweetness. Another alternative to keeping some sugar is also having honey available. So this is our honey that we harvested from our honeybee hives on campus. This wouldn't go in everything that I would use sugar with, but it's definitely a really good alternative, and it's really good for baking. Other things that are more fresh, things that I would either keep refrigerated or would need to use up before it goes bad. A variety of herbs. So in these vases here, I have a lot of different herbs that we grow in our gardens outside. We've got oregano here. There's some mint that's flowering. There's some parsley. And over in this vase, there's a lot of really nice rosemary, this basil that popped out, and some sage. So these are all things in here. These sage and this rosemary will grow year-round outside. So you can always have these available to you. And I just really like using fresh herbs, either for garnish or just that pop of flavor. Some other things I have in front of me are more fresh ingredients that I would need to use up pretty quickly, but I always like to have a variety of fresh items on hand. So if I don't know exactly what I want to make for a certain day, I can just look at all of my fresh ingredients in my fridge and go from there.
Hi, this is Chef Ron. I'm in our kitchen that we're going to be doing our cooking classes out of. This is our residential life building. A lot of our cooking classes we're also going to do down in our main kitchen down on campus. But today I'm going to show you a few things about the basic staples that are really important to have in your kitchen. Number one and number two, above everything else, are these two things. So these, if you learn nothing else about cooking, is probably the two most important things that you're ever going to learn, and that's salt and pepper. So this is black pepper. Of course, there's many types of pepper. This is kosher salt, and there's many types of salt. But to know how to balance your food with salt and pepper, and not just at the end, not just with a shaker or a grinder, but while you're cooking in layers. There's a few different types of salt. Also alternative salts. This is a Himalayan salt. It's a little finer grind, but has a really nice mineral flavor to it. This is actually a espresso salt that we get from Saltworks here in Woodinville, Washington. This is a seasoning salt. So this has I think I put about 9 different types of things in here. Granulated onion and garlic and pepper and cumin. We'll probably share the recipe for that with you. And then kind of a seasoning as well is this sesame seasoning. It's really tasty. It has a variety of dried seaweed and sesame seeds, etc. And then of course there's another seasoning which is turmeric, which is used in a lot of Indian foods, and it's really fun to cook with, but it makes a mess, so be careful with that one. So that's kind of just a basic idea of some of the seasonings, and of course salt and pepper, number 1. And then along with that, I'm going to move over here a little bit, is fats and oils. So there's a wide variety of fats and oils that are available. I'm going to move this over because I'll talk about acids here in a second, but fats and oils, probably the staple thing to have for oils is have a good quality olive oil, really important. It has a flavor though, and olive oil has a flavor that will impart sometimes really good things into the food, but if you don't want that flavor, go with an oil like this, which is really more of a generic, somewhat flavorless oil, a rice bran oil or this sunflower oil is good. Those are good alternatives. And there's all sorts of other types of oil. Avocado oil is a really healthy oil that's also high heat. So that's the other thing is these two are really good high heat, where olive oil maybe not as high heat. Coconut oil is another really, really useful oil or fat to use in cooking. Again, it has a flavor, but it's also high heat, and it's also really healthy for you. So I'm going to move these fats and oils over a little bit. Oh, one I forgot is ghee. So butter is probably one of the tastiest things to use for cooking. And ghee is butter that's been kind of cooked over time, so it has a little bit of a nutty, toasty flavor to it. Used a lot in Indian cooking, but I like to use it for almost everything. So then there's just 2 things, and I know Chef Marisa showed you the lemons, which are good for acid, because salt and fat and acid all go together to make your flavor kind of come together. It pulls things together to where you have a pop when you bite into something. It has layers of flavor, which is really important. You should always use some kind of acid for your food. So lemon is one example. Another one over here is grapefruit. That could be considered an acid that would be good. And of course, vinegar. There are many types of vinegar. This is a balsamic vinegar that's great for cooking as well as salad dressings, etc. So 2 other kind of fat type things, but also important in the kitchen, are some kind of a pan spray. So you're definitely going to want to have that as an essential thing for when we're cooking. This is an olive oil one, and then this is just a standard. With our seasonings, it's really important for you when you're cooking to have them accessible, to not have your salt and pepper, which is so important in almost everything you cook with, stored somewhere out of the way and hard to get to. I like to take my things that I'm going to season with and put it in small cups, so that then it's really easy to take a pinch of salt or a pinch of pepper and really season things as I go, as I'm cooking. So again, that adds the layers of flavor. I've also got my other salts that are in nice little cups that I can sprinkle with. I have oil that's always available. I can just pour a little in, use a measuring cup if need be. Keep your fats and oils and your staple things in the pan spray accessible. You want to be able to cook in a really efficient way. And granted, you can set yourself up in advance, but try not to put things too far away so that when you do cook, it can be kind of spontaneous. You can be a little bit more intuitive when you cook if you have enough things available to you to work from easily.